I'll never forget, man. And there's several stories and films, but one of my favorite scenes is Rudy.
I was just thinking that too.
In Rudy, yeah.
Which one? Yeah.
Well, when Fortune, the groundskeeper of the Notre Dame Stadium, is befriended, Rudy is working for him as he's trying to walk on to the Notre Dame team, and he quits.
You're 5 foot nothing, 100 and nothing, with not a speck of athletic ability.
That's a lecture. That's a lecture.
But it
was appropriate at the time. He had earned the right. And the response is a big part of these. Rudy doesn't say, well, screw you. He's sobered by what Fortune is telling him in that moment. Mm-hmm. But and then he says, I just wanted to run through that tunnel to make my dad proud.
With God, there is always more. More love, more life, more freedom. Welcome to Zoe's Exploring More with Michael Thompson. C.S. Lewis once wrote, "Our Heavenly Father has provided many delightful ends for us along our journey, but He takes great care to see that we do not mistake any of them for home." Join me and the team as we explore the kingdom together, discovering the deep truths and offering encouragement for the journey. There is always more.
Welcome, friends and allies, to the Exploring More podcast. Michael Thompson hanging out with the SJ Jennings, exploring the kingdom, particularly in this series of Father Matters.
Yep.
And here we are, episode 6 in this series, or week 6. And there's been some progression. Mostly, we're trying not to reach too far back and bring it forward. But this episode,
you can watch the older ones instead of us reviewing them.
Right. This particular episode, though, we're talking about their dreams, right, and the direction that they're going. Last week we talked about the glory of their lives coming alongside of that, but this is about where they're going to take that glory, particularly different roles and assignments that they may have, even to develop that glory, that vein of gold, like you said last week, within them. Mm-hmm. So there's the glory that's within them, right? That's them. Their characteristics, godlike, image-bearing characteristics that are good, and being a dad who can partner with God to cultivate that, and they have to believe it. They have to see it. They're going to have trials and opportunities and moments in which they step in, and some of those moments don't always go well. So
but your cultivation
can
of that
be there?
Can be very helpful.
I agree.
I agree. I believe in you.
Yeah.
How can I help? What do you need? Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So we've talked about quite a bit about understanding, why they think and feel the way they think and feel, right? Now I want to bring up this other tension that has to do with interpreting, right? We ask this all the time. What are the odds you've interpreted your life accurately? And we, in a room full of 400 guys, we hear a rumbling,
a cacophony,
a confession,
a
group confession of sorts, and we get it. We admit it as well. Mm-hmm. Well, they're on their story timeline. Your kids are on their story timeline, and they're gonna have some of the same, misunderstandings, misinterpretations. So how do we then, when the time is right, bring some interpretation? Mm-hmm. And that's why we said earlier, man, if you're leading with a lecture, you're probably missing their hearts, missing the moment. You're ready to give commentary on what you think is going on in English, or the soccer team, or or the other kids in their class.
I've yet to meet a dad who has not at some point been frustrated because their kids just kind of glaze over when they're talking to them. Well, that could be an indication, rather than
read the room.
Is it about them, really? Or is it because you're, giving them a lecture and not really listening and not meeting them where they're at and
amen.
All those things.
And before the break, right, I want to say we're not anti-lecture.
No, just at the appropriate time.
At the time.
And in the appropriate way.
In the way.
I've heard some lectures that were pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because for whatever, a number of reasons, which we don't need to go into. But
right.
But I've heard some bad ones. So, yeah, it's not a bad thing. It has kind of been adopted as like, oh man, I'm going to get the lecture, But
to your point about the training, if that's how you're training them, that's how you're going to react and respond with a lecture, with criticism, with
we should have done
rhetorical questions, all of that stuff, then they will not come.
You've trained them.
You're either going to find out secretively what's going on and then come and try to practice the same model of fathering and parenting with a lecture, instruction, criticism, and it's so easy. And the only reason I say this, because I remember it's true for me. It's so easy to interpret that when you're being lectured like that, they don't like you versus they don't like it.
They don't like what you're trying to deliver.
When you're a little guy, you can't disassociate that energy or that scowl or frown or even sarcasm, in all the ways that we might have been lectured to.
Yeah.
And I get it, man. There's a dad out there like, oh, you got a lecture? Lucky you. My dad was gone. It's
complicated.
It's complicated. And so holding all of this while trying to move forward in this particular episode with, walking with them in their dream. What are their dreams? What are they hope? And how do you want to interpret that? Like, what are they hopeful for? What they would like to become? What they want to offer? How would you describe their dreams?
Any and all of those things. And it's a moving target, which also makes it fun, because you can. I know there's dads out there that can relate to me, and maybe you can. I think you've told me stories. Dad, I want to be a figure skater. Okay, we're going to go out and we're going to get the skates and we're going to get the coach and we're going to get this and we're going to get that. And then she's like, nah, now I want to be a, hockey player.
Okay.
So now you got to go.
Role play with that. I want to be a figure skater. If I heard that, knowing what I know now, I would say, before I went out and bought skates or surprised him on a birthday or some occasion, I would say, tell me about that.
Right.
Well, I saw the Olympics. She got up on this stage, and everybody clapped, and they put this thing around her. They put this
because she was the best figure skater.
Now,
is it about figure skating? Yeah,
it's that subtle sometimes, and you can save yourself a lot of pain
and money
by exploring what does that mean to them. And it might be enough of a motivation for them. I'll never forget, man. And there's several stories and films, but one of my favorite scenes, we don't have to show it, is Rudy.
I was just thinking that too.
In Rudy,
Which
really?
one? Yeah.
Well, when Fortune, the groundskeeper of the Notre Dame Stadium, is befriended. Rudy is working for him as he's trying to walk on to the Notre Dame team, and he quits.
You're 5'0" nothing, 100 and nothing, with not a speck of athletic ability.
That's a lecture. That's a lecture.
But it
was appropriate at the time. He had earned the right. And the response is a big part of these. Rudy doesn't say, well, screw you. He's sobered by what fortune is telling him in that moment. Mm-hmm. But and then he says, I just wanted to run through that tunnel to make my dad proud.
That's what it was all about. It wasn't about football.
It was a means to an end. And if you can discover some of that end, you can come alongside and not only for their glory, but walk alongside them for their dreams. Mm-hmm. And beautifully could say, hun, buddy, I want you to do this because it's what you want to do. I love you no matter what.
I'm proud of you no matter what.
And there was that's a big part of this episode is those two phrases, and particularly, I'm proud of you. And I want to unpack that because it's critical to their dreams and what the undercurrent is within their dreams is to show, right? We've talked about fundamental questions. Do you see me? Do you love what you see? Do you want to be with me? There are a few more questions that come right on top of that. Those are the foundational ones. Yep. And the next questions are...
Don't.
Oh.
After the break.
Okay. That was that felt like the old Batman series. Yeah. Will he make it? Is it the end of Bruce Wayne?
In.
Yes. Same bat channel, same bat time. All right. We'll see you in a minute on the Exploring More podcast after this break.
We just wanted to give you a heads up about an event coming up in April called the Heart of a Warrior Encounter, April 16th through the 19th, Rockbridge Young Life Camp in Goshen, Virginia. If you want more information, go to zoe.org/events.
Yeah, there's only 400 seats. And
we're already a quarter of the way sold.
Yeah, it's filling up. And I would just add that it was a series of events, but a significant event like this conference retreat that changed the trajectory of my life. Mm-hmm. And the couple of men that I went with, friends of mine, are still friends of mine that 20, 25 years later, we're still exploring, we're still journeying, and I find that it's not. Yeah, I wouldn't have known it at the time. I needed it, but I don't know how else to describe it. I didn't know how badly I needed it.
Yeah,
I did not know.
It's like I remember, man, going to the doctor because my shoulder was bothering me, and she told me. Yeah. What are you doing to manage the pain? And I'm like, I don't know, taking 6 or 8 ibuprofens a day. And she's like, you're not supposed to live in constant pain.
Right.
You're not supposed to live with some of the things that we carry around.
Yeah.
And, time away, we call it an encounter because it's an encounter with God. That's what we're trying to set up. That's what's really most important about it is your time that you have unplugged, hopefully, from some day-to-day things so that you can get plugged into the Father. And we just kind of set the table.
Yep. I remember the term sharpening your axe. Mm-hmm. Right? We just aren't meant to be the 10 men who are just swinging, chores, chopping. If you don't take time. And when was the last time you put on your schedule, I'm going to spend 3 days with God. Yeah, there'll be 399 other guys there, but I'm going to spend.
It's amazing.
I'm going to spend some time away with God, and that's what we structure the encounter events. Mm-hmm. Not only is there sharing, teaching, and some other playground and fun things to do, but you're going to get 8, 25, 30-minute quiet times to ponder.
Go to silence. Yeah.
To ponder, to ask God questions, and to see what he might say.
Shout out to my friend TJ Wallace too. I mean, this is just not another porn and bacon men's conference, right? I mean, where that's all they talk about. We are really inviting you into a journey and an opportunity for an encounter with God. Yeah. So come be with us.
Well, I hope there is bacon.
Yeah, well, bacon's good. All right. Yeah, but
hope we'll see you there.
If you need financial support as well, if you'd love to come, but finances are an issue, Email my wife, actually. She's our event coordinator. It's Sherry, SHERRY @zoe.org, and she'll give you information about something we call the aid station. We don't want any man ever to get left behind because of finances. So join us at the encounter April 16th through the 19th.
Yep. Andy's got some stuff on the lower thirds that will guide you there. Hope to see you. Welcome back. I think the term is bated breath, right?
Yeah, I just remember that Cesar Romero was the Joker. I mean, it was just so, it was zany and madcap. It was that 60s Batman. Yeah. It's so dark now, which I also can appreciate. But yeah, it was pretty goofy back then.
Yeah, taking me way back to boyhood.
Oh man.
So what did you say? What did you say I couldn't say?
Well, I said wait till after the break. So the questions that we all kind of come into the world with are: do you see me? Do you love what you see? Do you want to be with me? And then there's questions that kind of layer on top of that.
Yeah.
As you get a little bit older as a child.
Yeah. And this is boys and girls.
Mm-hmm.
Am I strong? Can I come through? Right. Do I have what it takes?
Yeah.
Am I strong? Can I come through? Do I have what it takes? I do think, not to be too old school, but I think that with feminine hearts in general, there is this beauty becomes part of this equation, and appearances particularly can be really significant to, but boys too. You know, they're not asking, "Am I beautiful?" but they are wanting to know, you know, if they're handsome, if their appearances somehow, some way measures up or meets some standard, and it's tricky, man. It's a very, very difficult. Because what we don't want to do is reinforce some of the ways of the world,
right? That
you know, you're as good as your last performance and your appearance is everything, right? So how do we navigate that with them? Well, that's another conversation. You know, that's an opportunity. But those questions: am I strong? Right? Can I come through? Do I have what it takes? You know, am I beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
Am I capable?
Mm-hmm.
All of those versions and how those might be expressed. It's fascinating when you start to see, because they don't ask that question overtly. It comes in a code, right? I remember one of my kids, you know, coming downstairs with what they were wearing. And going,
yeah.
Are we wearing that outside? Are we wearing that to school?
What are your plans for that way too short dress?
Oh, I mean,
or jeans or whatever they were.
Yeah, and so right there's cultural. There's this deep desire to fit in, to belong. Right? How do you help navigate that with them in their glory and their goodness? Right? How do you work within that context? It's just absolutely. I wish I could say this whole series. I've thought it a few times, SJ. Well, just do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
You know, but.
That's Old Testament thinking.
That's right. Because I said so.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Here's 10 things to do or not do.
Yeah. And how do you partner literally with life, with culture, with the stage they're in, for some of the lessons that need to be learned that life can teach them? I mean, experience is a brutal teacher. C.S. Lewis said that, by the way.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yes.
And so, but how can you turn that in your favor? Right? With a little more mileage down the road, right? My son's 30, Stephen is 31, I'm 55.
Yeah.
So 24 years older than him. What can I do with that 24 years?
Yeah.
To help him navigate some of the life is just going to come at you.
Yeah.
It's the Rocky speech.
Yeah.
Right? It's not about whether or not you're going to get hit. It's how hard can you get hit and get back up again.
Because life's going
to do that
Yeah,
sometimes.
I think I missed.
But I also want to teach him not to get hit. If he can avoid the punch,
let
me help you with that.
Yeah. And I think I missed most of the opportunities with my kids to be preemptive.
I was very reactive. As a
kid too. I think that's a part of this, being aware and awake and attuned to, where they are. Is this? You talked about moving. We want them to be happy and excited about their first day of school here. I mean,
you're the new kid. It's awful.
And so how do you prepare them in a way that is somewhat protective, but also to say, look, hey, this could be an interesting day, bud. This I'm just saying, I want it to go well. I think it can go well, but just know not every kid in the jungle of middle school or fifth grade, not all of them are nice. So be careful. Right? It's unfortunate that you have to even say that to a 10-year-old. Be careful. But crap.
You got to be careful.
Most of life, there's an appropriate, be careful, here's why. And to enter it into a story or to tell a story, an illustration, from your life pre-punch, pre-hit, and how smart would you be if it happened?
Yeah.
Dad, there was this one kid, just like you said.
Yeah. He was going to come over and
everybody,
try to pick a fight. And blah, 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 and
this is really, how did you know that? You might raise in the ranks a bit.
I was either the kid that was getting picked on, or I was the kid that was picking on.
Right.
One or the other.
Right.
Yeah.
So I with their dreams, and there's some assumptions. Let's just tackle these first. If you're going to walk beside their dreams, what are some precursors or assumptions to that?
Walking beside, I mean the very first one that comes to my mind is, it's great to have them, but they don't always work out the way you think they're going to, which sounds like, Debbie Downer, womp womp, but when someone's sharing their dreams about becoming an astronaut or a figure skater, but, you want to encourage them and find out what it is about that they really love. Like you said earlier, it's great, but also help them to understand, just because you desire a certain outcome does not mean that it's going to happen that way. So, again, there's reality to things.
Yeah.
Rudy, I know you're one of the hardest working guys on the football team. You're 5'0" 100 So you're not going to be in the starting lineup on the defensive line.
Yeah.
So it's not you want to discourage them. But it's that fine line between encouragement
and the realistic,
somewhere in between.
Yeah. Parsesian says, "I wish I could put your heart in most of my players."
That's right. Yeah, I'd love for your heart to be with that guy who's 6'8" and 320, which you can't teach, by the way.
Yeah. So fascinating to see that quality, to have it acknowledged, and for it to be admired. That's what we're talking about. What is it that is their glory that is now moving towards certain roles, jobs, titles, tasks? I mean, those kinds of things. Like you brought up with Stephen. This idea that you are so good with kids. Well, I can name 5 jobs. Do you want to be an elementary school teacher? Do you want to run a camp? Do you want to be a pediatrician? I mean, there's multiple spaces that a heart that's wired that way. A counselor,
a tutor,
right? So many different possibilities. This
is when I shared it with him, with Stephen, as I was we were talking about different things that he might want to do. I love cooking. And I was very close to going to culinary school when I was younger because I was trying to decide, am I going to go off to college? Am I going to go in the military? Am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? And I thought there's a really good, prestigious culinary school in New Hampshire. And I thought about applying to that. And then I thought more about it. I worked in the food industry as a job when I was a teenager and all that. And I thought, you know what it's one of those moments. I love cooking for people. I don't want to do it 12 hours a day, right? What I love is actually seeing their reactions when I serve it to them and the fellowship around the table and breaking bread with others.
Yeah.
I don't love being a chef. You know what I mean? I think that would have killed me. Yeah. So as he and I talked about his love for working with kids and working at summer camp, he really did love it. But I'm not, he might feel differently now, but when we talked about it years ago, when he was 22 or 23, he didn't really want to do it all the time.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting.
Yeah. It's a coded message within them. Mm-hmm. And the job is, can you be close enough to help
and be a bit of a detective
in the decoding?
Yeah.
And sure, well, it may mean, how about we go look at this school and see if it's something that you want to do? Because the irony is in our late teens and early 20s, we get a major, we're kind of going down that path. Mm-hmm. And yet, on the other side, even with that degree, it doesn't always mean you're going to land this particular role or job. And so
I worked for a guy in a specialty coffee company when I was 18 who's had a philosophy degree, but he started a specialty coffee company.
Coffee makes sense.
Well, he sure didn't need the degree to start a coffee company.
No, but that's when you're drinking coffee, you can talk philosophy.
you can philosophize.
The philosophy coffee shop. I like it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So all of these things can have I'm just saying, if you can start gathering the data and hey man, if your kid is not particularly organized or clean in certain ways that, I'm trying to think of the vocation, right? The dream may not be something
where you have to be fastidious, right? Yeah. You might want to get into art,
sterilization,
something that's a little,
And I'm not saying that wanting to be a cook, that means you have to want to also do the dishes, right? The part of it. But I think
you become the cook so you don't have to
do that. There you go. There you go. But I think I want to go back to this phrase, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
And do you remember the last time you were able to share that or say that to Stephen, and for what?
Yeah, man. I say it to him now pretty regularly. Because, and that's been, the last several years, because I've been on the journey of understanding how important it is to receive from a dad. I remember at I think it was at the Encounter weekend, we were talking about it, and I don't remember if we took a poll or we asked guys to raise their hands or whatever. But in a room of 400 guys, the question was, what would you most like to hear from your dad? And immediately, I'm proud of you.
It was the majority for sure.
It's not, I love you. It's not any of that. It's, I'm proud of you. That's what we want to hear from our dads. I think as men, and, I'll speak for my wife. She wants to hear that too. Yeah. So recognizing the importance of it and how deeply impactful it is to hear that, and for it to have weight behind it, right, and meaning. our journey that we've been on, my son and I, and Colby and Noah too, you know, there's been some times where they got to see some of my struggles, right. And they know enough of my story, you know, to know my dad died when I was 23. So actually one of the books up there has the last letter he wrote to me in the front cover as an inscription. And he said he was proud of me. And it was the last gift I received from him. And what he gave me one too, a Leatherman tool when I became a firefighter. He actually took the time to go down to the local fire department on Cape Cod and ask them what he should get for me.
That's really good.
As a graduation gift.
Yeah.
You know? So I recognize how important it is to constantly communicate that. I don't want to take for granted that I said it, and if anything changes, I'll let them know. You know, yeah. I'd much rather say it more frequently. Mm-hmm. And so it was just at Christmas time when they were home for Christmas. You know, I got to put my hand on his shoulder and
right.
Tell him I was proud of him.
Yeah, validation.
Yeah,
affirmation, recognition, and the weightiness of that from your position as a man, as a dad. It's something we long for, as you said, and crave and desire, and so we're gonna go look for it, and you know, if we as fathers aren't offering or giving that, your kids are going to keep looking for it mm-hmm. from someone. Mm-hmm. And like we've said before, there's some dangerous paths to go down. I don't want to get too far off on this sidetrack, but when we think of narcissistic personalities, they have a magnetizing ability to prey upon that.
Sure.
And then bring control to that through a variety of awful relational.
It's like a drug dealer.
Right. It's terrible. And so, but what they're preying upon is the thing that's there. And so what we're talking about is to
be preyed upon.
Right. It's there for us mm-hmm. to address. And I would say also with this phrase is I'm proud of you. I think, SJ, it is the one phrase that answers those questions more directly and significantly. Do you see me? Do you love what you see? Do you want to be with me? Am I strong? Can I come through? Do I have something to offer? Mm-hmm. I love you is it's a really good sentiment. Mm-hmm. I'm proud of you.
Answers those questions.
Yeah. And I think that what I would encourage any fathers, anybody listening, put a comma in it at the end and finish it. I'm proud of you. What you did there showed such perseverance. I don't know if I've ever seen that in you before to that level. Mm-hmm. So you're recognizing something specific.
Yeah.
Or what you endured to get this degree today. Not I'm just proud of you for the degree, mm-hmm. but I'm proud of you for what. And so I think that is
Stephen's a newlywed, so
there's the real gift.
Absolutely, and it brings it to gifts are great. Anybody likes getting a gift, but a personal gift. Mm-hmm. We talked about this at Christmas time, right?
Yeah.
Gift giving and all that. It's great. I love an Amazon gift card. It's awesome. I'll spend it.
I'll use it.
Yeah, absolutely. Or Starbucks or whatever.
Michael at zoe.org.
Exactly. But something that a gift that you give me because you know me, and I know you know me because of the gift that you gave me.
It's recognition, right?
So when I take my hand and put it on Stephen's shoulder, he's been married a little over a year now, and I say, hey man, I see the way you're loving your wife. You're doing such a great job. I love you. I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of you and I love you is great.
Yeah.
But that one, he went to tears immediately.
Right. Of course. two categories that this is really, really, really important. And there's one that's actually secondary. And I'll give you the secondary one first.
Okay.
Their successes.
Yeah.
Be proud of them.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in a frame, and give it to them. I mean, it's
way to go.
Yeah, accomplishments, successes. But that's really the secondary.
Yeah, that's the meatball over the plate, man.
And hopefully you see it.
And hopefully you swing at it. Even over the plate, you can miss them.
Well, you know where I'm going. The primary one is their failures.
Yeah, that's when they need it most.
How can you be close in proximity when, for some reason, it didn't go well?
Yeah.
Or didn't go according to their plan,
or their hopes, or their dreams,
and that's when they're just, again, so often. And I would, Andy, if you can put the listening guide, a reference to the listening guide here. This is about reading their hearts, reading the room, reading the environment, reading what's going on, and listening well. I mean, they're going to have failed relationships. They're going to have bad bosses. Mm-hmm. They're going to have mistreatment.
All kinds of trouble will
in
come
places
their way.
that if you're fortunate and if you've earned that right to be close enough, that you have a dialogue even with your adult kids. What's coming up? Oh, I got a big presentation at work next week. And, okay. Presentation at work. Ask next week.
Exactly.
Put it in your calendar.
100%.
How did that go?
Yeah.
It didn't. I was so mad. I spent so many hours preparing, and they didn't use my stuff. Oh, buddy, I am so sorry. I hate when that happens. Tell me more.
And I'm proud of you for the way that you went after it.
I mean, at some point you get to but as you increase the weight, right, of their expression of how upset, frustrated, mad, sad they are about all that, the more that you get, the more of that you can name, right? And it's not this from the listening guide. Oh, that ain't nothing. Let me tell you what happened in 1982. Oh.
Yeah.
No, I mean, this is about them, and you gathering just from that one illustration of their lives. Well, what's your boss's name? And what did he do? He didn't do anything. He let this customer. I mean, it's just taking more and more of that in so that you can more and more appropriately
care for them,
address it and care. And in addressing it, you're caring for them, and they feel like you're beside them in their dreams, even when it's not going well.
Yeah.
Because that's, what do you want to say? 50% of the time?
If you're lucky, if you're blessed, however you want to say it, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
It may be more like 60-40.
Yeah.
And in that moment, they don't care that it's 50-50.
No, of course not.
Remember, last week, everything worked out the way it was supposed to. So what are you so upset about?
Yeah.
That's not helpful.
I mean, trying to make them, and I get it. I've done it too many times, right? Somebody who's sad, I'm trying to make them happy.
Yeah.
Somebody who's disappointed, I'm trying to, somehow elevate how they feel rather than, dive into the pit and say, I'm here. Tell me more. Oh my gosh. Because when you can advocate for them like that, stand with them in their dreams, even when it feels like they're being thwarted, prevented, stunted, that's a huge part of this job.
No doubt.
And a great opportunity, right, to be with them in it. Yeah.
So in the time we have left, Michael, let's talk about this little phrase, "we shall see."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You want to do that?
Yeah. It's from it came from a parable that I've heard, and I've heard it's Brazilian. I've heard it's from the 8th 8th century. I've heard it from, I don't know where its even origin is.
Yeah, I thought
anymore.
It was a Chinese proverb.
A Chinese proverb.
Yeah.
Yogi Berra said it, I think.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But we shall see is this concept. The parable basically is a farmer who a horse wanders in to his farm, and the son, they get it in the pen, and the villagers are like, oh my gosh, look at how fortunate, how blessed. Yeah, and the farmer just repeats this phrase, well, whether it's good or bad, we shall see. Well, the next day, the horse escapes. Oh, I mean, look, you're, how unfortunate. The horse left, and you only had him for a day or two, and gosh, that sucks. Whatever parable would say that sucks. And the farmer says, we shall see. Yeah. We shall see. Well, the horse comes back with 3 or 4 other horses that now they're all in the pen the next day, miraculous. Oh my gosh, you're so fortunate. Here's this fortunate and unfortunate. Here's this, you're lucky, you're cursed. You're
blessing and
looking
cursing.
at the circumstances,
yes.
and deciding or dictating that they're good or they're bad. And the farmer's response is, we shall see. So his son gets on the horse bucks him off, breaks a leg. You foolish. Why would you let your son on a wild horse? And next day, the army comes to conscript all able-bodied young men, and now all the villagers' sons are leaving.
Yeah.
So it's this parable about that.
A way to look at the things that happen to us and for us in life.
Yeah, and to say whether it's good or bad, we'll see. Right?
Yeah.
It's a paragraph on a page. It's a page, in a section. It's a section in a chapter. It's ongoing as it's going to unfold, and what has happened to get to that point and what's going to happen after that point is we shall see.
So is there a story with your girls that you can think of?
Oh man,
the we shall see story.
There's a bunch of good ones.
As we come in for a landing.
Really, really recently. One of my kids just decided to kind of push out there and attend a gathering by themselves, and it was with some fear and concern, but they went anyway, and it's too early to tell. But they met some people and some common interest. And now there's these new budding relationships, friendships, and we'll see.
Right? Which is you said that to her when she was going to the party.
I mean, I know what'll happen if you don't go.
Right.
Right. So back to that showing up, engaging, being able to overcome some fear, and social anxiety, but to know that the treasure of friendship is often on going through those things, the gauntlet of that. And you just don't know. You don't know when your next friend is showing up or you're showing up for them. And, because they have transitioned from one city to another, you're starting over a bit. I've got another, my oldest is a therapist she's brilliant, and she is venturing out on her own for, stepping out of a group and kind of hanging her shingle, doing her own. Well, it's hard, and
was that surprising?
I think that the hardest part,
how hard it is, can be surprising for all of us, by the way.
Yeah. Here's the hardest part for a lot of us. That's a great point. The hardest part for us in general, most of us, and in this particular situation with my daughter, is the uncertainty. And yet you don't know unless you go. And you can stay there. Nothing wrong with staying. But I'm not surprised with this one, Mike, that she's going. And it's not just to be her own boss, but she's had enough examples of leadership that aren't her favorite. How's that for making it sound
diplomatic?
Make it sound nice.
Yeah.
To where I want to create a shop. I want to step in a space where I can have some more flexibility, have some more freedom, but also do some things the way that I think they should be done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the magic of it. And so, to see her and to acknowledge that, and even I'm so proud of you. That is hard to do. What you're doing is hard to do, but if anybody can do this, you can do this.
Mm-hmm.
What do you need? How can I help?
I think you ought to give her a shingle.
Yeah. For hanging out a shingle.
Get it custom made.
That's right. That's good. Yeah. So,
But you helped paint her office already, didn't you? Or is that coming?
No, that's been done.
Okay.
But that's, it's such a good question. And I think it's also the ability, what would I say, SJ? The ability to even to know that she's doing that, to ask how it's going, right? These are the, like they don't know when their next best friend is showing up. We don't know when the next bit of intel is coming that we really need to father them well.
That's right.
And so, knock, ask, seek, knock.
Mm-hmm.
Move towards them, be fathered while you're fathering. I tell you, one of the best things as we wrap up, one of the best things I do, and I would love to be really, really consistent with it, but one of the best things that I think I do is pray for them, pray over them blessing, pray for them direction, and pray against the enemy that opposes their glory, their goodness, their dreams, and just intercede and intervene in the spiritual realm in that way. That gives me a level, not full, but that definitely gives me a level of engagement that I get to exercise as their father in a system that God created. We have his namesake, capital F Father, small f Father. I get to intercede and intervene in spiritual matters over and for and against in their lives. And I think that's something that if you want to walk beside them in their dreams, that's a significant way, one way of a few that requires our engagement.
Yeah, really, really good, man. Really, really good. I love it. Well, hey, if you are interested, as we talked about in the break, in coming to the encounter, I hope you'll join us, zoe.org/events. Also want to let you know or remind you that we are a crowd-funded ministry. And so if you want to join our partnership team, go to zoe.org/give. It enables us to do things like this and bring you this kind of content.
Yep. Hey, thank you for being with us on this particular episode with Father Matters. We got 2 more left in the weeks to come. Hope you'll stay with us. We'll see you next time on the Exploring More podcast.
We hope you have enjoyed this episode of Exploring More. The landing page for this podcast is zoe.org/podcast. That's ZOWEH.org/podcast, where you can find the show notes and various platforms to which we broadcast. You can also find us and the Life of More by visiting Zoe on YouVersion Bible app, Right Now Media, our Facebook page, and Zoe on Instagram and Twitter. Remember, with God there is always more, and you were made for more.